Hello, this video is very different from my usual videos, but there is a connection to the videos I usually make. You know, everything's connected. So in this video, I'll be showing how to take apart a bicycle suspension fork called SR Sun Tour, an old fork that doesn't have screws on the bottom. Here's the bike now, and I'll be using this for future videos. I'll be attaching a camera to the handlebars, and having a suspension fork that works will come in pretty handy. It'll make the videos smoother, hopefully. And if I hit any big bumps, which is likely in the place I live, it could actually save the camera from some damage. Let's take a look at the fork now. The bike is 14 years old, so let's assume the fork is too. I've only recently begun learning about bicycle maintenance and repair, but I'm making this video because I had trouble finding this information on the internet. It took me a while to figure it out, so now I'm putting this all together in one video. When I tried to do a search for how to take this apart when there's no screws, this is not a bolt that doesn't come off. So when I searched for that, I didn't find anything. So it took me a while to actually find out. I found some people saying that maybe your fork just wasn't meant to be taken apart. Well, I kept at it. See, I bought this bike cheap, and now I'm fixing it up to make it work like new. That's how I get by. So the first step, I took the tension off the springs by turning the knobs. I don't know if that's necessary, but I thought it was the safe thing to do. Both knobs all the way to the left. That's the thing on the top. And right below that is the cap. To get in there, you got to remove this cap. And if you don't have a socket wrench tool that fits that, just use pliers. But you don't want to do it like this, because you'll end up stripping the thing. Sometimes, you know, these things can get stuck, just like the whole fork is stuck. There could be rust and just freezing of the parts. So you might need to put in a lot of force into this. So what you want to do is take a towel, cover it, then put this on. You've got to be real meticulous. Push that in there. And then after a while it should be able to screw off with your hand. The spring is probably pushing on it, so you don't want this pop into your face. And when it gets out to this far, you want to stand back. And there it is. Of course, no spring popped out because I already took it out. So this knob here turns the yellow part, which pushes on the spring to give it more or less tension. What I'm doing here is putting on a couple drops of lube in here, because that knob wasn't turning very well. Then I just let this sit here upside down. Here's how far the spring will pop out once you've taken off the cap. It's just sitting there. So you want to get some napkins and be careful when you take it out. Some dirty oil. So I've got the other spring outside, where I'm going to now degrease it with this stuff and get it all cleaned up and then relubed. Okay, I've got the other spring here. Some cardboard for protection. You're going to want napkins to soak up the excess Ecotech. This is specifically bike chain degreaser, but this is going to be good for anything. Shake well. By the way, people read directions. It's there for a reason. There's people who don't read directions. They suffer. By the way, take a close look at this. A lot of rust in there. Dirt and grease. Now I know the virtue of patience. Some people want to wipe it down real quick, but just let it sit there a minute or two. Sometimes you need to scrub. That's where an old toothbrush comes in handy. A lot of people use this. Yep, the rust is coming off now. After I wiped the grease off the springs, while I was wiping, I noticed there's rust, some hard rust there that I'm going to need to use rust remover on. So that could have been part of the problem. Now back to the fork. The next step I just did was to turn the bike upside down for about 10 minutes with the caps off so that any oil will come out. A little bit did come out, but mostly water. So I figure this is a good time to put some lube on this. I'll be using this. Most of the stuff I'm using is environmentally friendly. And this is grease and not the liquid lube. Sure enough, right here in the directions, it's for headset, bottom bracket, hub bearings, and suspension gaskets. So I'm just going to get a napkin here, wipe this off. Yeah, I did wipe this all off. Got the old grease off, a little dirt. You want to wipe it crossway like this, not up and down. In case you scratch it, you'll be scratching it the better direction. Okay, it's moving better now. So we're going to take the degreaser again. This is where it's getting exciting. Want to shake it. And we're finally going to spray in here. Be careful not to get it anywhere else but inside. Didn't get it right. The aim is off. Worth the extra cost for this stuff, I'd say. It goes really slow, especially when you're really conservative. You notice I am. Here I'm wiping off. This is the stuff that just leaks out all over the place, and I'm gonna use that for the upper part here. That again. I just realized that that toothbrush would be good for this. Perfect. Okay, I've put it back together now. I did a little lubing up on the top here along the springs. These knobs are turning better, but as expected, it's not working the way it should be. But while I was out riding, I noticed that when I hit a bump or a curve, it actually did go down, and it got stuck down there until the next bump, and then it popped back up, which means that what I did had some positive effect. We just need to do more. And of course, I haven't lubed the whole thing. I lubed in here, but not in here where most of the parts move against each other. Since this bike is on the old side, and these things do get corroded and dirty after just a few years anyway, I'm going to go ahead and degrease in there, which means I then have to hose it, wash it out, and let it dry, and then we'll be back tomorrow. So you lift up this thing, and there's a cap that's already up there. I'll make sure that's off. This thing has a seal in there, so it's not easy to get stuff in there. So I'm going to try spraying in there And then I'm going to push on the handlebars to activate the fork spring there. Maybe something will get down there. It's working. Yeah. There it goes. Okay, so it all dried up. I put some grease around the sides, but you don't really need much there because actually there's hardly any movement there. The real movement is right here. And then I put the springs back in and put the caps on. So then comes the final greasing of this area. Remember to use actual grease, greasy lube, not the liquid. Just get it around the edge there. Put the brakes on, push down. It is better. It's still not smooth. Figuring the problem is around in this area here. I took a closer look and saw that after I pushed down on it, I would see some kind of dirt residue here. And I'm seeing it again. And before I had wiped it off, and every time I would clean it and re-lube, it would work better. And after about 3 or 4 times doing that, there was no more dirt left. But now after a couple of days, I'm getting dirt again. So I figured just keep doing it until it's clean and then do it a few days later. So I just wiped it and now I'll push down on it again. And then wipe it off again. There isn't much there. Then re-lube. Do it again and see if I get more dirt. So there you go, for all you people who want to fix stuff instead of buying new stuff.